It's time for high school baseball on KDAO. Tonight's game is brought to you by Croprite, Creekside Grundy Center, GNB Bank, Ellsworth Community College, D&B Agro Systems, New Roth Trucking, Partner Communications, Marshalltown Community College. Now, high school baseball on KDAO.
And a very pleasant good evening to you on a very, very pleasant evening for high school baseball. I'm Chuck Carpenter coming to you tonight from Grundy Center. You know, we're only 2 weeks away from postseason play. It doesn't seem possible, but we've got conference baseball going on tonight as the East Marshall Mustangs come up to Grundy Center to take on the Spartans. Now, for Grundy Center, they're trying to bounce back after a rare loss. They've only lost 2 games this year, but one was Friday night to Union High of LaPorte City. So they're 11-2 and they're 9-2 in the conference, and that puts them right back almost in a tie. Dike New Hartford is 8-2 and Wapsie Valley is 8-2, okay? So Grundy Center is going to try to get back on the winning track tonight with a win over the Mustangs. They're going to be throwing their best pitcher, Judd Jarofsky. And these Spartans, they just seem to play so better. Not better, but they just are so relaxed and so confident when Judd's on the mound. And something tells me Judd may be on a leash tonight. I'm not sure about that. You know, they got Gladbrook-Rhinebeck Wednesday and Roland Story. Of course, he'll never throw against Roland Story. But AGWSR, they may limit Judd's pitches tonight, but I don't know that for sure. Now, the East Marshall boys, I already talked about the challenge for Grundy Center, but East Marshall, their challenge is to just keep doing what they've been doing, and that's playing pretty dang good baseball because the boys have been struggling. They're 5-13, but last week was a really, really good week for them. End of the week as they whooped Gladbrook-Rhinebeck 13-3, and actually they put up, I think it was 6 or 7 runs in a losing effort against West Marshall, and then they went to Marshalltown. Never played Marshalltown. Of course, it's a 5A school, and they beat Marshalltown behind Nathan Fry, and that was really good win for them, 7-2. So they come in this thing with a lot of confidence, and they're going to be throwing not Nathan, but they are going to be throwing Jackson Bush. And Jackson is kind of their leading pitcher as far as ERA and things like that. So Mustangs hope Jackson's got it going on. Grundy Center hopes that Judd's got it going on. And I think this is going to be a really, really good high school baseball game tonight between East Marshall and Grundy Center. East Marshall's lost 3 in a row to Grundy Center. Hey, I've got those starting lineups on the way next on KDAO.
Jake Pelham of Croprite of Grundy Center wants to help you take your business to the next level. Croprite of Grundy Center offers best-in-class agronomy products along with top-tier service. Jake thanks his loyal customers for their continued support. And if you haven't met him yet, he invites you to let him earn your business. Contact Jake at 641-751-5313. Stop by at 301 North Park Avenue in Grundy Center or visit croprite.com.
Welcome back to NICL Baseball. The East Marshall and Grundy Center starting lineups for East Marshall. Leading off is the second baseman, junior Eli Burns. Batting second, Blake Newroth, senior shortstop. The pitcher tonight is Jackson Bush, and he'll bat third. Batting fourth is Cale Newroth, the left fielder freshman. Center fielder Jackson Boswell is the junior center fielder batting the fifth spot. Landon Doherty is the third baseman batting in the sixth spot. Gavin Gashler is the first baseman batting in the seventh spot for East Marshall. Austin Crandon will bat in the eighth spot. He's the junior catcher. And Tate Bielen is going to be the freshman designated hitter, number 7, batting ninth. He's batting for Nathan Fry. It's Burns, Blake Newroth, Bush, Cale Newroth, Boswell, Daughtry, Gashler, Crandon, and Bielen for the Grundy Center boys. Their lineup pitcher leading off, Judd Jarofsky, and he's quite the table setter, so East Marshall's got to keep him off base. Center fielder, speaking of table setters, Brandon Davey. He's a senior, and he'll be in the 2 spot. Pete Lebo, Mr. Reliable catcher, senior, 11 batting third. Ethan Meester is the shortstop batting fourth. Ryder Slifer, and lately these Spartans have been hitting a lot of home runs, man. He's the first baseman batting fifth. Hayden Gerardis is the left fielder, junior batting sixth. Mason Tatey is the right fielder, freshman. He bats in the sixth position. Asher Ludeman is the designated hitter, number 13. He'll be batting for Riggs Yoder, the third baseman, and then Carson Lobby is the second baseman. Jarofsky, Davey, Lebo, Meester, Slifer, Gerardis, Tatey, Ludeman, and Lauby. And Grundy Center is 11-2 and 9-2 in East Marshall on a hot streak. They're not to be taken lightly here. They're 5-13 and 2-7, but they can't be making any errors, and they got to They just got to put the ball in play, and they can't be striking out against Jarofsky. So we're gonna keep it right here. Judd Jarofsky's taking his warm-up tosses. Now, the last time Judge pitched, that was against Dyke New Hartford. That was on Thursday. So I don't know this for sure, but like I said, I suspect that they may have Judd on a leash tonight and maybe limit him to 25, 30 pitches. I don't know that for sure, but I'm kind of thinking, and whether baseball coaches want to admit it or not, they do look down the road. In this day of pitch counts, you got to look down the road, and I'm sure they're looking at, well, maybe not Gladbrook Rhinebeck Wednesday to bring him back, and definitely not Roland Story, but maybe HEWSR. Actually, Roland Story's on Thursday and HEWSR on Friday. So maybe they're looking at HEWSR on Friday. So I know you got to focus on tonight, because if you lose tonight, then the rest of it doesn't really matter too much. But coaches do have to look ahead. So anyway, so Judd, of course, he's 5-0, 27 innings pitched, a .26 ERA, 44 strikeouts and 4 walks. And when he's on, the game goes pretty quick, and he's going to face a good lineup. I mean, East Marshall's been hitting the ball 1 through 9. Like I said, they have plenty of confidence. They're 2-0 in their last 2 games. A nice win over Gladbrook Rhinebeck, and then the really nice win over Marshalltown on Friday. So he's going to face Eli Burns, Blake Newroth, and Jackson Bush. Now, here's the thing with East Marshall. They have a lot of good speed, man. So it behooved Grundy Center to keep these boys off base. So Burns, Newroth, Bush. If anybody gets on base, Cale Newroth. And so Eli Burns steps in. He's a junior, batting .283. He's got 6 stolen bases. And Judd is a strikeout sword. And like I said, when he's on the mound pitching, the guys just always seem to relax, okay? So we'll just see what happens here. So the very first pitch, and we're underway. Bunt, that's pretty good play. That's a tough one. Judd gets it. He falls down. He can't make a play. Now, that's pretty good as Eli Burns, I mean, anything to get that speed on base. So there's a base hit right away, and it is a perfect bunt between basically Judd bounced off and got it. He was almost on the third base line. He picked it up and slipped and fell down, and even if he would have picked it up cleanly, he probably would not have had a play. So that was a good job by Eli Burns. So there you go. East Marshall got that lead. And, of course, Lebo's a good catcher, so they're going to be testing Burns, I think, and they throw back over. And along with everything else, Judd has a very good pickoff thing. Okay, here's Blake Newroth. And Blake, man, what a hitter he is. At .449, 11 RBIs, 4 doubles, 2 triples, and he's got 16 stolen bases. So let's see what happens. And the runner is not going, and swing, and there is a foul ball. So we start this game off with a bang as Eli Burns dumps a perfect bunt down the third base line. Jarofsky got to it, but then he fell down. Even if he would not have fallen down, there was no way he was going to throw out Eli Burns. So are they going to test Lebo, the catcher? He gets a nice lead. He has to dive back, man. That was close. So, again, you can't be messing around out there in the bases against Judd Jarofsky. We've got a little fireworks going on here. One on and nobody out here in the top of the first inning. Got no score, but Burns, good speed, and he's not going, and that's a change, and that's a strike. Now, for East Marshall, it's easy to say on the radio, easy to say on the internet. You can't be striking out against Judd. But he has 46 strikeouts in only 27 innings. 0-2 is the count. He comes with the 0-2 to a good hitter in Blake Newroth. A long look, the batter steps out. So Burns dropped a perfect bunt single down the line. That's first base hit of the night. So far, not showing any ability they want to run against Lebo. 0-2 is the count. Newroth has to guard against the strikeout. And he swings, and he hits a fly ball, and that's going to be easy for the center fielder, and Davey hauls it in. So he got ahead of the count, and a pop-up to the center fielder. Here's Jackson Bush, another good hitter. Actually, this team is pretty good up and down the lineup, 1 through 9. They think their 5-13 record is very deceiving, and they won their last 2 in a row. They've lost 3 in a row to Grundy Center. So, now, once again, we'll see if Burns, who has good speed, wants to test Lebo, who's a dang good catcher. Here's Jackson Bush, 387. He's got 4 doubles, okay, as the big crowd looks on, and that's a good play. Lebo blocks it, and then the runner's going to take off, and Lebo throws it to second base. Not in time, though. So I was going to say that was a good play to stop a wild pitch, but heads up Eli Burns. He went down and he took second. So there he is, second and 1 out. Now Grundy Center has to get tough, and there's a little ground ball to the third baseman. Third baseman gets it, throws it, and he's out. Good routine play by Yoder. So a ground ball to the third baseman. Burns moves over to third, as Grundy Center tries to wriggle out of this jam. And this is Cale Newroth. Again, they're good up and down the lineup. Cale, the left fielder, the freshman, the cleanup batter, 317, 7 RBIs, 12 stolen bases. Burns with a bunt single. He's over at third now with 2 out. That hit the outside corner. Again, along with scoring runs, one of the big jobs of this East Marshall team is to try to make Jarofsky throw pitches and get that pitch count up. And he may be on a leash anyway tonight. 0-1 is the count. Swing, and there's a pop-up foul. No play for anybody. So 0-2 is the count. We had a leadoff single, then a pop-up to the center fielder, the wild pitch, advance the base runner, then a ground ball to the third baseman. Eli Burns is sitting there at third base. 0-2 is the count, and the next pitch is on the way. High to Cale Newroth. Now Jackson Boswell is in the on-deck circle, but it's all up to Cale Newroth looking for the all-important 2-out RBI base hit. So this game off to a fast start here, man. 1-2 is the count. Next pitch, runner on at third. Here it is, swinging a ground ball. That's going to be tough for Yoder. He gets it, he throws it, and that's going to be out. It wasn't as tough as I thought, as he just made that routine play look easy. So 2 good plays in a row here by Riggs Yoder. East Marshall fails to score, and Grundy Center comes to bat. Jarofsky leads it off. I'll be back after this.
Discover Creekside Assisted Living in Grundy Center, where comfort, care, and connection come together. With their 3rd consecutive deficiency-free rating, you can trust the quality and compassion of their team at Creekside. Enjoy on-site therapies, transportation to appointments, and personalized support that makes every day simple and fulfilling. At Creekside, life is about living well, your way. Take a virtual tour or schedule your visit today at creeksidegrundy.com.
Navigating mortgages can be very complex. Start your journey with the lending team at GNB Bank. We're committed to getting you to your next home. We offer both fixed rate and adjustable rate mortgages to fit your specific needs. Our experienced lenders help guide you through the process. You can make payments or receive customer service at your local GNB Bank office. Whatever your dream home looks like, we'll point you in the right direction at GNB Bank.
Welcome back to NICO Baseball on KDAO, and a perfect night for high school baseball on a Monday night with the tournaments just around the corner, and East Marshall against Grundy Center. Now, East Marshall, they had an opportunity. Their leadoff batter Burns with a bunt single. He got to third, but Jarofsky got tough with a pop-up to the center fielder and a couple of ground balls. But I think East Marshall can be encouraged because they didn't strike out against him. Now, it's important that East Marshall pitching and defense is tough and not give this team any extra outs. And the pitcher tonight for East Marshall is Jackson Bush. Jackson, 24 innings pitched. He's 1-0, 38 strikeouts, 8 walks, and a 2.27 ERA. And the first pitch is a strike call. Now, Judd is a great table setter. You talk about a leadoff batter doing his job. 635 doubles, 10 stolen bases, 13 RBIs, couple of home runs. And he smashes that ball into left field, and so that's going to be a quick single for Judd. And he's a threat to steal. So, again, we talk about a great table setter. So the hits are even now at 1 apiece. And there's, I don't want to say there's no doubt, but he's probably going to test Crandon, the catcher for Grundy Center. Judd has stolen 10. There's the bunt. Good bunt. Foul by Davey. And, of course, when Davey lays it down, if you're playing back a little bit and Davey drops a bunt down, you're going to have first and second and nobody out, man. Davey batting .250, 3 doubles. He's the center fielder tonight. As Grundy Center tries to break out on top, as they try to bounce back from the loss to Union on Friday, and East Marshall tries to get their 3rd win in a row and upset the number 1 team in the conference. Okay, the 0-1. Judd not going, missed outside. And, again, can't be having errors if you're East Marshall. And can't be walking people. And you can't help Grundy Center. Judd shown no ability he wants to run, but he takes off now. Good bunt right back to the pitcher, and he has to go to first base. Judd, there was no way he was going to. Even if Judd wasn't running, he probably wasn't going to go to second anyway. So, sack bunt to the pitcher.
Up to bat for the Stars, catcher number 11, Pete Lebo.
Braden Davey does his job. And here's Pete Lebo, 380, 13 RBIs and a home run. He's just, he's just very steady. A base hit, with Jarofsky's speed, most likely would score him, in a scoreless game, bottom of the first inning here. So Jarofsky is on second base and 1 out, and the 1-0 is on the way to Pete. and that just missed outside. So you can't be walking people, can't have any errors. East Marshall's got to play good defense, just like they have the last 2 ball games, 2-0 is the count. Judd takes the lead from second, almost threw sidearm and missed outside. Bush, really pretty good control, 38 strikeouts, only 8 walks in 24 innings. I think that's pretty good, but he's 3-0 on a good hitter. And he does hit the outside corner. So East Marshall had an opportunity to score in the first. They couldn't cash it in. Both teams have had the leadoff batter on. So here's Judd over at second base now, and the 3-1 is headed home to Pete Lebo, the senior. And he swings and misses. That was a good pitch. Kept it inside and tied him up a little bit. East Marshall striving for the strikeout. Lebo wants to put the ball in play somewhere. 3-2. Swing, and he pops him up, and there'll be no play for anybody. Got a big crowd. Of course, the girls' game, that was a great game. We'll get into that in a little bit. Well, I can tell you right now, the Grundy Center won that thing by a score of 4-1 over rated East Marshall. That was a big win for Grundy Center. So 3-2's count to Pete Lebo with Jawowski on at second base. Got no score. Judd's kind of dancing out there, and there's a swing, and there's a fly ball, and that ball could be trouble, and that ball is going to be caught by the shortstop. I mean, he really backed out. I mean, a good job by the shortstop as Newroth backed way out to left field and hauled it in. So a pop-up to the shortstop. Now it's going to take a 2-out something from Ethan Meester, batting .430, good hitter, 11 RBIs, and he got 3 doubles. So, and again, a base hit with Judd speed most likely would score him. Do you think Judd would try to steal third base? Well, he's not here, and there's a strike call. So, East Marshall and Bush trying to wriggle out of this jam here. Both teams have put the leadoff batter on. The hits are even at 1 apiece. We got no score. 0-1 is the count, and with 2 out. And the next delivery is on the way. Again, a little sidearm thing, and he fouls it back to the screen. Good game here. It's always a good game when East Marshall and Grundy Center get it on. Even back in the days when Frosty was the coach at East Marshall, they were always good games, 0-2 is the count on Meester. Base hit most likely would score Judd. Okay, here's the pitch. Again, a little sidearm, missed outside. Slifer is in the on-deck circle, but it's up to Meester looking for the 2-out RBI base hit. 1-2 is the count. Swing, and there's a pop-up. Who wants it? And that's going to be chased by the second baseman, and he caught it, but he dropped it. Okay, that was a tough, and the run scored. So, the second baseman, he had to go a long ways. He was almost in right field, and that was just a really, really nice effort by the second baseman. It was a nice effort by the second baseman, Burns, but he caught it. It was a difficult play. He caught it, and he dropped it, and that's an error, and that's a 1-0 lead. So the second and he was right out in right field, so that was not an easy catch for the second baseman. Burns caught it, dropped it, and the run scores. And now here's Ryder Slifer. And that pitch missed outside. So, Grundy Center gets a 1-0 lead. And my scoreboard just blew up. Well, that's kind of interesting, isn't it? Okay, so 1-0. I got my scoreboard fixed. Don't panic. I got my scoreboard fixed. And while I was doing that, Slifer draws a walk. So I don't know what was happening there. I'm glad I caught it. It's 1-0 Grundy Center. Sorry about that. I wasn't paying attention to the scoreboard. It had some wacko score on it, like 14-4. So, well, it is 1-0. So got a walk here. And here's Hayden Geerdes. Missed outside. So already, now Grundy Center has accomplished some things here. They have a 1-0 lead. But the other thing is that they've been able to make this pitcher throw a lot of pitches. And that missed outside. And he's kind of been behind the hitters here. So Slifer draws a walk after Meester got on base with the drop little pop-up. And here's Hayden Geerdes. That missed upstairs. So suddenly the pitcher for East Marshall, Bush kind of struggling a little bit trying to find the strike zone. Hayden, by the way, is batting .297 with a home run and 3 doubles. Lately, Grundy Center's been hitting a lot of home runs. That's not like them. So that's a strike called outside corner. So 3-1 is the count. Okay, got my scoreboard working. Okay, that's under control. 1-0 on KDAO. There's a fly ball. Center fielder makes the play. So East Marshall gets out of the inning. But the run scores for Grundy Center. And, of course, Judd with the leadoff single. He comes around to score. And a drop ball by the second baseman really wasn't his fault. That was just a super tough play. He caught it, and then he just dropped it. Then there was a walk, and then credit to East Marshall for getting Geerdes to pop up. So, 1 inning in the books, and Judd goes back to work, and Grundy Center leads 1-0. I'll be back after this.
Are you ready to make the most of your college experience? Look no further than Ellsworth Community College in Iowa Falls, Iowa. At Ellsworth, we offer a world of possibilities with 55 different academic programs to choose from. We also offer 8 NJCAA athletic programs and 2 club programs so you can get involved in the sport you love and be part of a winning team. Ellsworth Community College is where you can experience a 4-year education in just 2 years. Ready to take the first step? Visit us online at ellsworthcollege.com for more information or give us a call at 641-648-4611. Experience Ellsworth today.
For your commercial or agricultural projects, trust D&B Agrosystems of Hubbard. D&B Agrosystems is a turnkey operation for commercial and on-the-farm solutions. At D&B, they offer grain storage, handling, and dry systems for all sizes of operation. For more than 40 years, D&B has built a name of consistently delivering quality products and prompt, reliable service at competitive prices. For complete details on what D&B Agrosystems of Hubbard can do for your operation, visit dnbsystems.com.
Welcome back to high school baseball. We go to the second inning, and Jackson Boswell leads it off for East Marshall. Leads East Marshall and Grundy Center and ICL Conference Baseball on KDAO Radio and KDAO.com. Grundy Center leads by a score of 1-0. Jackson Boswell is kind of leading off this second inning. He takes a strike call. As I mentioned, I think Jurowski may be on a little bit of a leash tonight as they look down the road to some other conference games they're having. I don't know that for sure. That's just speculation. Boswell batting .302, a home run, 4 doubles, and 17 stolen bases. All these guys are a threat to steal, man, so you want to try to keep them off base if you're Grundy Center. Upstairs, 1-2 is the count. Hits are even at 1 apiece. East Marshall has made 1 error. That kind of hurt them. 1-2 is the count, and that is a strike call. Yep, painted the outside corner. It's important for East Marshall not to strike out a bunch of times against Judd. Now, that's actually their first strikeout. And here's Landon Doherty. Again, another good hitter. They're pretty good up and down the lineup. 348 with 9 RBIs. Gavin Gashler would bat next. As Judd would like to try to cut down on his pitches a little bit, he threw up quite a few in that first inning. And Grundy Center has a 1-0 lead. And there's a swing and a miss. And that's the other thing. When somebody is playing Grundy Center and Judd's on the mound, you don't want him to get too many runs because Judd usually doesn't need too many runs to be successful. Next pitch is a little pop-up, and third baseman wants it, gets it for the out. So, Yoder doing a good job. That's his third put-out, you know. So a pop-up to the third baseman. Grundy Center lost to Union. They were actually down in that game 6-3 in the 7th, came back, scored 2 runs, but they ended up losing. That was their second conference loss. First one was to AGWSR, so they're 11-2 and 9-2. And like I said, East Marshall, they've won 2 in a row, and they're 5-13. So with 2 quick outs, here's Gashler batting .217. And first pitch, and again, a good job here by Judd. As he just every time I see him pitch, he always seems to be ahead of the hitters, man. 0-1 is the count with 2 out, and he's working in a hurry, and he always works in a hurry. That ball is outside. Hits are even at 1 apiece. Grundy Center was able to cash in their opportunity in the first inning. East Marshall helped them a little bit with a drop pop fly, but that was a tough play for the second baseman to handle. Okay, next pitch. There's a swing and a miss. Good change. So something, I don't know why, just something tells me that maybe 25, 30 pitches, and then Judd might take a break. There's a ground ball. Easy play for the first baseman. Gets it, steps on the base for the out. Well, that was easy. A 1-2-3 inning. Really cut down on his pitch count there. And a good job by Slifer to get the job done. So ground ball to the first baseman. We go to the bottom of the second. Grundy Center leads 1-0. I'll be back.
New Roth Trucking in LeGrand is locally owned and operated, and they have been in business for 25 years. If you need a load of rock hauled for your driveway or dirt for your construction project, Brad at New Roth Trucking is the person to call. New Roth Trucking also hauls ag lime for your farm field and handles local and over-the-road van freight. For more information, contact Brad at 641-485-0624. New Roth Trucking proudly supports the East Marshall Mustangs, and they wish them the best this season.
Hi, Hi, this is Chris from Partner Communications. Did you know we now offer electrical services? Whether you're looking to change out a few lights within the home or wiring a whole new house, Partner can get it done. Master electrician Jeff Campbell will come to your home and provide you with a free estimate. Residential, agricultural, or commercial, let our courteous professional technicians complete your electrical projects. Call our office today, 641-498-7701.
You are listening to Central Iowa High School Baseball from Grundy Center on KDAO Radio. You're watching this game on KDAO.com. I'm Chuck Carpenter. It's a beautiful night for high school baseball. So we're into the bottom of the second inning. The hits are even at 1 apiece. Grundy Center has a 1-0 lead. And for Grundy Center, it'll be Tatey and Yoder and Lobby. If anybody gets on base, Jarofsky. So obviously, East Marshall, as the first pitch misses 1-0, would like to set the side down order in 1-2-3 and not have to face Jarofsky. There's a foul ball. Not have to face Jarofsky until the third inning. And they definitely don't want to hit pitch to him with people on base. So this is a very important inning for East Marshall. Got to have a 1-2-3. Tatey batting .325, and that hits the outside corner. So now, along with everything else for East Marshall, Jackson Bush would really like to cut down his pitches. He actually threw quite a few pitches there in that first inning, so we'd like to cut down on those a little bit. And here comes the 1-2. There's a foul ball back to the plate. So the bottom three, Tatey, Luderman, Lobby. If anybody gets on base, Jarofsky. But East Marshall is not too interested in pitching to Jarofsky. That means there's people on base. Here comes the 1-2. Again, through sidearm, and he hit the outside corner. Good pitch. Struck him out. So good job by Jackson. That's his first strikeout of the night. And here's the designated hitter batting for Yoder, the third baseman, Asher Luderman. So Grundy Center, like I said, they're busy at Gladbrook-Rhinebeck on Wednesday, host Roland Story Thursday at AGWSR. I'm sorry, they host AGWSR on Friday. And East Marshall, They will be at PCM Tuesday. They host Hudson on Wednesday, at Jessup on Thursday. Got a makeup game at home with Denver on Friday. Man, there's a strike call. So Bush doing a better job of throwing strikes. He kind of got behind a lot of the hitters in that first inning and kind of hurt him along with the error. But he's 0-2 here on Asher. And here's the 0-2. Missed upstairs. East Marshall had a lot of guys they can pitch. Nathan Fry had a wonderful performance as he took down Marshalltown and struck out 11 on Friday. And that ball just missed outside. And again, just got a little sidearm thing. Just missed. 2-2's the count. So the first person struck out. And here's Luderman with the ninth place hitter on deck. That missed inside. East Marshall always is very competitive with Grundy Center. It's just that they've lost the last three. And here comes the 3-2. And swinging a ground ball right back to the pitcher. He gets it, runs to first base, flips it for the out. So Jackson doing a better job of throwing strikes, getting ahead of the hitters. And here's Lobby. Now, again, it's important if you're East Marshall to take Tarson out and not have to face Judd Jarofsky with people on base, okay? And there's the strike call. So Bush started a little bit slow. The single and the error and the walk. But it looks pretty crisp here. Swing, and there's a fly ball. Center fielder runs and gets it. Good play. Made a tough play. Got a couple good center fielders out there. Boswell did the job. Of course, we all know what we got for Davey, but Boswell made that play look easy. So it's a good 1-2-3 inning for East Marshall. So we already go into the third inning. Grundy Center has the lead, 1-0. I'll be back after this.
You've got goals. You need a plan. Don't waste time or money. At Marshalltown Community College, you get the power to choose. Transfer to a 4-year university or step straight into a career in healthcare or trades. Small classes, caring faculty, real-world experience. Marshalltown Community College. Your future starts now.
Jake Pelham of CropRite of Grundy Center wants to help you take your business to the next level. CropRite of Grundy Center offers best-in-class agronomy products along with top-tier service. Jake thanks his loyal customers for their continued support. And if you haven't met him yet, he invites you to let him earn your business. Contact Jake at 641-751-5313. Stop by at 301 North Park Avenue in Grundy Center or visit croprite.com.
Welcome back to NICO Baseball. We're already in the third inning, and Grundy Center has the lead of 1-0. The hits are even at 1 apiece. And for East Marshall, it'll be the bottom two, Crandon and then Bielen, and then up the top of the order with Eli Burns. So Jarofsky has set down 6 in a row after giving up a leadoff single. And there's a strike call. Judd, as usual when I see him, is just ahead of the hitters. And when you're ahead of the hitters, no matter what level you're talking about, things just seem to just go much more smoothly for you. Here's the 0-1. Overthrew that one and missed the outside corner. And this team, we're talking about East Marshall, pretty good up and down the lineup. We got Crandon, Bielen, and then the top of the order with Eli Burns. It'll be the second time around in the order then. And that ball missed outside. Now, Judd usually doesn't walk a whole lot of people. In 28 innings, he's only walked 4 with 47 strikeouts. There's a strike call. And we'll see how long he goes tonight. I was just speculating that maybe on a short leash, but I don't know that for sure. And here comes the 2-2. Hit the outside corner. Struck him out. So he gave up that bunt single to Burns, and since then he's been perfect. Setting down 7 in a row. Next pitch, this will be to the 9th place hitter, Tate Bielen, who's the designated hitter. It missed. The leadoff batter, Burns, is in the on-deck circle. So, Bielen would like to get on base ahead of Eli. 0-1 is the count. That's a strike call. 0-2. So, again, Judd just keeps getting ahead of the hitters, doesn't he? 0-2 is the count. Next pitch. Swing and a miss on a change. For some reason, I thought that was the third strike, but I screwed that up. So it's 1-2 now. And there's a foul ball. And the next pitch just missed. So here comes the 2-2, and that missed inside. So 3-2. And Judd usually doesn't get into 3-count pitches, but he's in a 3-pitch count now. Here comes the 3-2. Swing, and there's a pop-up. That ball is trouble, and that ball is going to fall for a base hit. The second baseman was on his horse, and Davey, who covers a lot of ground, he couldn't get to it. So that breaks the string of 3, 6, 8 in a row, and it brings the leadoff batter up. So a 2-out single, so Bielen does his job, and here's Eli Burns, who's 1 for 1. East Marshall now has out-hit Grundy Center 2-1. We'll see if they want to. Usually they steal a lot of bases. They haven't seemed to want to do that against Lebo, so we'll see what happens over there. And the runner is not going. Good play by Lebo to prevent a wild pitch as he flips it back to Judd. Eli Burns, good hitter, batting .285 now. He has a bunt single, and he was stranded in the first inning. And the runner takes his lead. And another good play by Lebo. So 2-0 is the count. Judd usually doesn't get behind people 2-0. He was kind of cruising, had set down 8 in a row, and then Bielen with a little bloop single man, and the 2-0 count. With the runner at first, they hold against him. He is not going, and that missed. So 3-0 is the count. This is the second time around in the order against Judd. And here comes the 3-0. That's a strike call. Judd has allowed 2 hits, and he has struck out 3. Usually when he pitches, the defense is pretty good behind him. 3-1 is the count. Next pitch. That is in the dirt, and that's a rare walk, but that's what happens. So you get behind the hitters. So a single and a walk, and you've got your good hitters up here. Here's Blake Newroth. He popped up to the center fielder his first time out. Coach Brown takes a walk out there. I'll be back right after this.
Discover Creekside Assisted Living in Grundy Center, where comfort, care, and connection come together. With their third consecutive deficiency-free rating, you can trust the quality and compassion of their team at Creekside. Enjoy on-site therapies, transportation to appointments, and personalized support that makes every day simple and fulfilling. At Creekside, life is about living well, your way. Take a virtual tour or schedule your visit today at creeksidegrundy.com.
The Grundy Center Conference is over. Coach Brown goes out there. Grundy Center in a jam here. They have a 1-0 lead. But you got Bielan on at second and Burns the trailer at first. You have really good speed, and you've got a great hitter, Newroth, who's batting .449 at the plate. And here's the first pitch. And it's in the dirt. So Jarofsky lost Eli on a walk. Blake batting .449 with 4 doubles, 2 triples, and 11 RBI, so he's a hitter. Next pitch, that hit the outside corner. 1-1 is the count. A look back at the runner. There's a strike called outside corner. Blake did not agree. 1-2 is the count. Jarofsky could use the strikeout. Blake wants to put the ball in play somewhere. Here's the next pitch. That missed way outside. So again, East Marshall's doing their, even if they don't score any runs, after not throwing too many pitches, Judd actually has thrown quite a few here in this third inning. Here comes the 2-2. Swinging a foul straight back. So another good at bat. Anytime you can make him throw pitches, run that pitch count up, and try to get into Grundy Center's bullpen, that's a positive for East Marshall, even if they don't score here. 2-2 the count, but you got the right guy up there with Newroth. Runners on at second and first. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Or was that a foul ball? Nope. Think they're going to call a strikeout on him.
Now batting, pitcher number 10, Jackson Bush.
So a big strikeout. And that's 4, I believe. And here's Jackson Bush. Swing, and there's a pop-up. Again, the second baseman goes out and catches it for the out. So Judd threw a lot of pitches, got out of trouble. East Marshall, though, they had opportunities. They had first and second, 1 out, and Judd was at his best when things got at their worst. So we go to the bottom of the third, and Judd will lead it off. Top of the order, Jarofsky, Davey, Lebo. I'm Chuck Carpenter, and 1-0 is the score. Grundy Center leads. I'll be back after this.
Navigating mortgages can be very complex. Start your journey with the lending team at GNB Bank. We're committed to getting you to your next home. We offer both fixed rate and adjustable rate mortgages to fit your specific needs. Our experienced lenders help guide you through the process. You can make payments or receive customer service at your local GNB Bank office. Whatever your dream home looks like, we'll point you in the right direction at GNB Bank.
Are you ready to make the most of your college experience? Look no further than Ellsworth Community College in Iowa Falls, Iowa. At Ellsworth, we offer a world of possibilities with 55 different academic programs to choose from. We also offer 8 NJCAA athletic programs and 2 club programs so you can get involved in the sport you love and be part of a winning team. Ellsworth Community College is where you can experience a 4-year education in just 2 years. Ready to take the first step? Visit us online at ellsworthcollege.com for more information or give us a call at 641-648-4611. Experience Ellsworth today.
Welcome back to NICL Baseball, as we're already in the bottom of the third inning on a perfect night for high school baseball. Important NICL game, as Grundy Center is 11-2 and 9-2 in the conference, kind of tied with Dike New Hartford and Wapsie Valley. East Marshall trying to continue their winning streak as they're 5-13. Now they face the top of the order. This is Jarofsky, and he swings and misses. Took a home run swing and missed. Judd has the only hit tonight for Grundy Center. That was a leadoff single, and then he later came around to score. He's a good table setter, and here comes the 0-1. And he swings and misses. So 2 good pitches So a good job here by Bush. He kept one inside, then he put one outside, and Jarofsky could not make contact with either one. So here comes the 0-2, and he chops it. I'm sorry, he hits it to the center fielder for the out. At first I thought it was a ground ball. I didn't see it very well off the bat. He hit a looping line drive, but again, the center fielder made a wonderful play, Boswell. So again, got two good center fielders on display. They take a base hit. Anytime you can keep Jarofsky off base, that's a positive. So the center fielder made that look easy, Boswell. Here's Davey, and there's a strike call. So after struggling in that first inning, the pitcher, Bush, has really settled down. I think I said Boswell, I meant Bush. He's been throwing strikes. He is set down 5 in a row. Kept the tough top of the order here, 1-1. And Davey pops him up, out of play. So Jarofsky lines out to the center fielder. Very good play by Boswell. And again, Bush doing a good job throwing strikes, cutting down on his pitch count. And there is a swing and a miss. And that's his second strikeout. So he's just kind of getting better as this game goes along here. And here's Pete Lebo. I mean, this is like, all the hitters are good, but this is the top of the order. These are your three seniors. And Bush is making it look easy as he throws a strike inside corner to Lebo, who popped up to the shortstop his first time up. East Marshall's out hit this team 2-1. Grundy Center does have the 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the third inning in a quick moving ball game. Here comes the 0-1. There's a swing and a miss. So, in the first inning, he was behind everybody. Now he's ahead of everybody, and he's just making it look easy here as he dispatched of two tough cookies in Jarofsky and Davey and made it look easy. And here comes the 0-2 to Pete Lebo. Missed outside. Also been cut down on his pitch count, too. And that's very important because East Marshall, they've got a full schedule. They have games every single night this week, and with the exception of Thursday. So they don't want to go too deep into their bullpen tonight. 2-2 is the count. So Jarofsky lines out to center field. Another good play by your center fielder for East Marshall. Gets Davey to strike out, and now way high and outside on Pete Lebo. Pete batting .380. Okay. Grundy Center has a 1-0 lead. Bottom of the third inning. Next pitch. That missed outside, so Pete draws a walk. So that breaks the string of 6 in a row. So Lebo walks. And here's Meester. Now Meester's the guy that popped it up to the second baseman who had to make a really, really tough play and caught it and dropped it. And that scored the run, Jarofsky. That's why Grundy Center has a 1-0 lead. So now Lebo has got 10 stolen bases. So Meester's batting .430. And the 1-0 missed outside in the dirt. And the runner's going to take second. I think he was running anyway, and then that was just a tough pitch to handle. So Pete with the stolen base. Meester looking for the 2-out RBI base hit. It's 1-0 Grundy Center. And here's the next pitch. It missed upstairs. Grundy Center has one base hit. East Marshall has two. East Marshall has the error that hurt them in the first inning. And Lebo is on its second. 3-0 is the count. And now he threw, that's a wild pitch. That's ball 4, but Pete goes to third. So we got a wild pitch and a walk. So we got first and third here. And you don't think Meester is going to try to swipe second? Now, in the meantime, East Marshall, and here comes Coach Chubb. Now, we'll keep it right here. So, what was my point? Oh, in the meantime, you've got a power hitter in Slifer who has 3 home runs. And actually, lately, it's been kind of interesting. At Grundy Center, I don't think they're known for home runs, but I swear they've hit like 6 in the last week. So they can't make a mistake to Slifer. So Coach Chubb is out there. So, your pitcher for East Marshall, Bush, was just kind of sailing right along. He had got rid of 2 tough cookies in Jarofsky and Davey and felt pretty good about things. And then Lebo gets on base. And nothing good happens when you walk people. Then Meester with a walk. There was a wild pitch. And here's Ryder, and he has home run power. And the runner is not going off first. I expect him to, and that missed outside. So Lebo is on at third. Meester's over there at first. Walks are going to hurt you, man. 1-0 is the count. Next pitch. Swing, and there's a fly ball. That ball is trouble. That ball drifts right field, and it goes into the corner, and that's going to score 2 runs. So there's your 2-out RBI double. I had to wait a little bit to see, and it just was fair by about a foot. So Slifer goes the opposite way, got a 2-run double, and that pumps a little air into the leading margin of Grundy Center, and the hits are even now at 2 apiece. So Slifer with a 2-run opposite field double, a good piece of hitting by him. And here's Geerdes. The walks will kill you, man. And there's a ball that's hit to the first baseman, who picks it up, steps on the base for the out. So ground ball to the first baseman, but the damage is done. Walks will hurt you. 2 walks, and then Slifer with a 2-run double, and Grundy Center now has the lead of 3-0. And you know what? We're already going into the 4th inning. I'll be back after this.
For your commercial or agricultural projects, trust D&B Agrosystems of Hubbard. D&B Agrosystems is a turnkey operation for commercial and on-the-farm solutions. At D&B, they offer grain storage, handling, and dry systems for all sizes of operation. For more than 40 years, D&B has built a name of consistently delivering quality products and prompt, reliable service at competitive prices. For complete details on what D&B Agrosystems of Hubbard can do for your operation, visit dnbsystems.com.
New Roth Trucking in LeGrand is locally owned and operated, and they have been in business for 25 years. If you need a load of rock hauled for your driveway or dirt for your construction project, Brad at New Roth Trucking is the person to call. New Roth Trucking also hauls ag lime for your farm field and handles local and over-the-road van freight. For more information, contact Brad at 641-485-0624. New Roth Trucking proudly supports the East Marshall Mustangs, and they wish them the best this season.
Welcome back to Central Iowa High School Baseball. You know, it's taken like 35 minutes to play 4 innings. Pretty crazy. I'm sorry, to play 3 innings. Pretty crazy. But that sometimes happens when Judd Jarofsky's on the mound. And now Grundy Center has a 3-0 lead as Slifer comes through with a 2-out RBI 2-run double in that third. So now we go to the 4th. And again, East Marshall, you just can't give Judd too many runs to work with. And I still think he's on a leash tonight with his pitch count, but I don't know that for sure. So for East Marshall, here we go in the 4th. We've got 4, 5, and 6. Cale Newroth, Jackson Boswell, Landon Doherty. If anybody gets on base, Gashler. First pitch missed upstairs. So Judd had given up that leadoff bunt single to start this game. Then he proceeded to set down 3, 6, 7 in a row, and then he ran into a little bit of trouble in the 3rd inning, but got out of it. There's a hot smash. Third baseman gets it, drops it, throws it, and he is out by a step. Good job by your third baseman. Didn't panic. I would have panicked, okay, and I would have kicked that thing to Morrison or something. But Yoder did a good job. It was behind third base, so that was a problem right away. And he got it, and then as he picked it up, he dropped it. But you know what? Didn't panic like I would have, and he gunned him out, got him by about a step. So ground ball to the third baseman, and here's Jackson Boswell batting .300. And he hits the outside corner. Judd struggled a titch in that second. Gave up a single and a walk, but then he got out of it with a strikeout and a pop-up. Next pitch. He hit the outside corner. And he has struck out 3. East Marshall doesn't want to strike out a whole lot against him. Boswell with the 0-2. And here it is with nobody on base. And that missed outside. 1-2 on Jackson Boswell, the center fielder, the junior. Jackson struck out his first time up, and that just missed. Borderline pitch. Jackson got the call. So 2-2 the count. Judd working in a hurry like he always does, and there's a swing and a miss. Nice change. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 strikeouts. And here's Landon Doherty. So Doherty batting .348. He popped up to the third baseman his first time up. Judd has had 1 1-2-3 inning. That was in the second. We're already in the 4th, man. There's a swing and a miss on a change. This could be the last inning of work for Judd. I just wouldn't be surprised because they're not looking to bring him back against Clyburn Rhinebeck on Wednesday. There's no way they want him to pitch against Roland Story on Thursday, but maybe AGWSR on Friday. Swing, and there's a little looper, and that's going to fall in front of the left fielder. So, good piece of hitting here by Landon. They've now hit Grundy Center 3-2. They are trailing by a score of 3-0. So Landon with a bloop single. Here's Gassler. So Gatchler batting .217. So far they haven't shown the ability they want to run against Lebo. I think they may have one stolen base. First pitch is a strike. Gavin, the sophomore first baseman. He's grounded out. He's 0 for 1. 0-1 is the count. Top of the fourth, Grundy Center leads 3-0. Dives back, close, but not in time. For Grundy Center in the bottom of the fourth, they'll send in the bottom three, Tatey, Luderman, and Lobby. 0-1 is the count. Runner on at first. Hit the inside corner. Judd threw quite a few pitches in the second inning. Not a lot here. Gives up a 2-out little bloop single to Doherty. And that missed outside. Gassler steps out. Now he steps back in. Crandon is in the on-deck circle. 1-2 is the count. Next pitch. Swing and a miss. So Judd with 2 strikeouts. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 in the game. We go to the bottom of the fourth. It'll be the bottom 3 for Grundy Center. They have a 3-0 lead. Quick game, man. I'll be back right after this on KDAO.
Hi, this is Chris from Partner Communications. Did you know we now offer electrical services? Whether you're looking to change out a few lights within the home or wiring a whole new house, Partner can get it done. Master electrician Jeff Campbell will come to your home and provide you with a free estimate. Residential, agricultural, or commercial, let our courteous professional technicians complete your electrical projects. Call our office today, 641-498-7701.
You've got goals. You need a plan. Don't waste time or money. At Marshalltown Community College, you get the power to choose. Transfer to a 4-year university or step straight into a career in healthcare or trades. Small classes, caring faculty, real-world experience. Marshalltown Community College. Your future starts now.
Welcome back to Central Iowa High School Baseball, NICL Baseball. And Grundy Center trying to maintain, well, at least a tie in first place. They're 9-2 going into this thing. Dike New Hartford and Wapsie Valley. Dike New Hartford was 8-2. And the first pitch to Tatey missed upstairs. Bottom of the fourth already. Tatey, Luderman, Lobby. Again, just like we talked before, they would like to have a 1-2-3 inning and then deal with Jarofsky in the fifth. 2-0 is the count. There's a line drive. Ground ball. Shortstop. Great play. Hit it hard, deep in the hole. Neuroth, he's one of the best. He just made it look easy. He made it look easy. I thought that was going to get through for a single. And he threw out Tatey by a step. Good play. Here's Litterman. And he grounded back to the pitcher. And he swings and misses. Grundy Center has a 3-0 lead. Bush trying to keep the score right where it's at. Giving up 3 hits. The 1 error did hurt East Marshall. Otherwise, they've just played good defense. They haven't given up a lot of freebies. Just, 2 walks and 1 strikeout. There's a strike call. Again, important for if you're East Marshall to set the side down in order and not have to face Judd Jarofsky with people on base. Here's the 1-2. And he swings, and there's a fly ball. The second baseman backs out, and he's called off by the center fielder who made a great play almost behind the second baseman. So, again, good defense here. I mean, Boswell's been getting everything, man. And he made that play look easy. He came a long ways. He came a long ways in. Then he went almost right behind the second baseman to get that ball. Great play. Here's Carson Lobby, and he's batting .250. And Jarofsky lurks in the on-deck circle. They don't want to see him until the 5th. Again, little sidearm, missed outside. East Marshall's actually out-hit this team 3-2. Of course, the big hit they had with Ryder Slifers, 2-run double in the last inning, you know. There's a strike called outside corner. They've been given 2 walks, and there's been 1 big error by East Marshall. 1-2's the count. Working in a hurry. Next pitch, swing, and there's a pop-up, foul. No play for anybody. So Lobby steps back in. He's the second baseman. And here comes the 1-2. Swing, and there's a little fly ball to the right fielder who drifts over and makes the play. So, good 1-2-3 inning. And again, they don't have to face Judd until the 5th. So a fly out to the right fielder, except for that one error, man. East Marshall playing good defense, and you have to against Grundy Center. So, score 3-0, and we go to the 5th inning. I'll be back after this. Grundy Center has a 3-0 lead. I'll be back on KDAO.
Jake Pelham of CropRite of Grundy Center wants to help you take your business to the next level. CropRite of Grundy Center offers best-in-class agronomy products along with top-tier service. Jake thanks his loyal customers for their continued support. And if you haven't met him yet, he invites you to let him earn your business. Contact Jake at 641-751-5313. Stop by at 301 North Park Avenue in Grundy Center or visit croprite.com. Discover Creekside Assisted Living in Grundy Center, where comfort, care, and connection come together. With their 3rd consecutive deficiency-free rating, you can trust the quality and compassion of their team at Creekside. Enjoy on-site therapies, transportation to appointments, and personalized support that makes every day simple and fulfilling. At Creekside, life is about living well, your way. Take a virtual tour or schedule your visit today at creeksidegrundy.com.
Welcome back to Central Iowa High School Baseball. We're already in the 5th inning, and East Marshall is trailing Grundy Center by a score of 3-0. And in the top of the 5th, it'll be the bottom 2 and then to the top of the order. And there is a ball hit in front of Davey, and it drops for a base hit. So Jarofsky's still out there. The leadoff batter is on for the 2nd time tonight. East Marshall now is out hit Grundy Center 4-3. So a pop-up single. They do a good job putting the ball play against Judd, even though he has struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think overall they've done a good job of putting the ball in play. So a leadoff single by Crandon. And Caden Grant is going to be the runner. So Caden Grant will run. Do you think they're going to try to bunt? It's going to be a wild pitch instead. So that takes care of that. So the runner goes down to second base. So a little bloop single and a wild pitch. And now you got second and nobody out. East Marshall's got to cash in on this. And you got the right people up there. And there's another wild pitch. So Bielen takes 2 wild pitches. I don't think I've ever seen Jarofsky throw 2 wild pitches in a row, but he did there. So now you got third and nobody out. What a great opportunity here. Bielen, and then you've got the heavy hitters coming to bat next. Here comes the 2-0. He fouls it away. So along with everything else, and so much for my theory that Judd was going to be limited to 25 pitches tonight, because I think he's thrown more than 25. So a little bloop single and then a couple of wild pitches, which I don't think he does too much, but he does right there. And 2-1 is the count, and here's the next pitch, and that's in the dirt. And Lebo had to make an outstanding play to prevent a wild pitch and a run, man. So Jarofsky with the 3-1 count. On Tate Bielen. Grundy Center in a jam here. Swinging a foul straight back. A good piece of hitting here by Tate Bielen. Tate reached on a single his first time up. 3-2 is the count. Grundy Center could use the strikeout, and he flies it up, and that's going to be trouble, and that's going to fall for a base hit. A little base hit down the third base line, so some little seeing eye singles, and East Marshall, that's a little bloop single. The left fielder came hard, but it fell foul. It fell foul about a foot. So just a game of inches and an RBI hit. So 2 bloop singles and then 2 wild pitches, and East Marshall scores a run. It's 3-1. And now you got some trouble with the top of the order. 2 bloop singles, 2 wild pitches, and here's Eli Burns batting .283. 0-1 is the count. 3-1 is the score. Good game here, man. Okay, next pitch, swing and a miss. Eli tonight has doubled, and he's walked. So now you got the top of the order up here after the bottom of the order. Get some good stuff done, led by Austin Cranon with a bloop single, 2 wild pitches, and then a little bloop single by Bielen. So there you go. Good job, bottom of the order for East Marshall. Okay, here comes the 0-2, and the runner at first is not going. And again, Lebo has to prevent a wild pitch. And again, Jarofsky throwing a lot of pitches here. He's already thrown more than what I thought maybe. What I thought maybe they might, limit his pitches and bring him back a little later on this week. But that theory is going out the window. So 1-2 is the count of the dangerous leadoff batter. And the 1-2 headed home. That's an outside. That is a called strike. The umpire took a little while to give the strike call. I don't want to say he was being dramatic about it, but he took a little while. Then he finally punched him out. So at first I thought that was a ball. So here's Blake Newroth. So Blake, another good hitter, batting .449. He's popped to the center fielder, and he's also struck out. And there's a strike call. So once again, Judge trying to be at his best when things are at their worst, and things are kind of at their worst here for Grundy Center. They do have the 3-1 lead, but the tying run is at the plate. A couple of bloop singles and a couple of wild pitches have got them in this mess. Swing and a miss, though. So Jarofsky strikes out Burns looking, and now he's 0-2. So he's got to go through the really, really good hitters, and you got another one, Bush, in the on-deck circle. We'll see him barring a double play. 0-2 is the count. After a long look, here it is. Swing and a pop fly foul. We'll do it again. We're in the 5th inning. East Marshall's actually out-hit this team 5-2. Grundy Center's had base runners, but only 2 base hits. But they do lead by a score of 3-1. But East Marshall's kind of cut into that lead a little bit here, haven't they? 0-2 is the count. Next pitch. Swing, and that ball is hit to Davey, who caught it, dropped it. Actually, I don't think he ever caught it. It fell right in front of him, so there's another little bloop single. So another bloop hit. I don't think he ever caught it. At first, I thought he caught it and dropped it, but I don't think he ever caught it. So a bloop single. That's another base hit for East Marshall. That's 6 base hits. Here's Jackson Bush. And you got good speed on the bases. And the tying run is on at first base. So this game has changed, hasn't it? There's a swing and a miss. Jarofsky had a 2-strike count on him. See, Blake popped that thing up, and Davey was playing shallow. I said he was playing deep, and he came in, and at first I thought he caught it and dropped it, but I don't think he ever caught it. So 0-1 to count. There's a swing and a miss. Jarofsky just trying to get through this 5th inning with only 1 run being scored. East Marshall's offense, like I said, coming into this game, they're playing some dang good baseball, so they were not scared of Grundy Center. Here comes the 0-2. Look back. There's a swing and a little ground ball foul. So what's Jackson Bush done? Of course, he's batting .387. Jackson has struck out tonight, and he's also popped up. A base hit most likely would score a run. An extra base hit, that would be very interesting to see if the run would score from first base. And like I said, we've had 3 bloop singles and 2 wild pitches. 0-2 is the count. Next pitch, here it is. That's a strike 3 call. Good pitch, painted the outside corner. So Judd trying to wriggle out of this jam. 4, 5, 6, 7. So he does have 7 strikeouts. So it's up to Cale Newroth, the cleanup batter, the freshman left fielder, against this crafty senior veteran. And he pops him up. Left fielder wants it, and he catches it for the out. So Judd got in some trouble, got out of trouble, but East Marshall does a good job cutting into the lead. 3 bloop singles and 2 wild pitches. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and it will be at the top of the order for Grundy Center. Jarofsky, Davey, Lebo, good game. 3-1, Grundy Center leads. I will be back after this.
Navigating mortgages can be very complex. Start your journey with the lending team at GNB Bank. We're committed to getting you to your next home. We offer both fixed rate and adjustable rate mortgages to fit your specific needs. Our experienced lenders help guide you through the process. You can make payments or receive customer service at your local GNB Bank office. Whatever your dream home looks like, we'll point you in the right direction at GNB Bank.
Welcome back, Central Iowa High School Baseball. Got a good game here. Now East Marshall's actually out-hit Grundy Center 5-2, but Grundy Center clinging to a 2-run lead as they scored 1 in the first, 2 in the third on Slifer's 2-run double, but East Marshall answers in the 5th as they do a good job putting the ball in play. I mean, I understand they did strike out 2 times, but in that inning they had 3 bloop singles and 2 wild pitches, man, so they earned it, and then Grundy Center helped them a little bit. So Grundy Center's got the right guys up there, top of the order, Jarofsky, Davey, and Lebo, but the last time they had the top of the order up, He dispatched of Jarofsky and Davey, then ran into trouble and gave up 2 runs. So Judd tonight has a single, and he has scored, and he's also lined out to the center fielder, and the center fielder putting on a good show tonight. Boswell did a good job taking care of that. So a quick game here, that just means that it's good high school baseball, and indeed it is. Bottom of the 5th inning, nobody on, nobody out. The dangerous Jarofsky, who has home 1 power, and he takes a ball inside. Grundy Center trying to bounce back after a loss to Union. East Marshall trying to win their 3rd game in a row. Here comes the 3-0. And walked him. That's never good when you walk Jarofsky. It's never good when you walk the leadoff batter. And you don't think Jarofsky is going to try to run. And that's actually that's the 3rd walk given tonight. So Grundy Center only 2 base hits. Of course, the error hurt. And then 3 walks. And you don't think Jarofsky is going to try to run? Here's Davey. A throw over to first base. That was very close. Braden tonight has a sacrifice bunt back to the pitcher, and he has a strikeout. So Braden steps in, 250. An extra base hit. Who knows what Jarofsky would do? And he's off with the pitch, and that ball is hit into center field. The center fielder gets it, and he's got to get back to first base. He does. Fortunately for Grundy Center, it was offline. I mean, Jarofsky was standing on second base, and the center fielder caught it, making his usual good play. That's just what Jackson Boswell does out there. And then he threw it to first base, and a good throw, perfect throw would have had a double play, but it was not to be. And Jarofsky, hustles back to first base as that throw was offline. So, fly ball to the center fielder. Here's Lebo. Now Pete got things going with a walk in the 3rd inning. That led to 2-run score. And Jarofsky just swiped second base. So he steals a base hit you know dang well, unless it's an infield hit, would most likely score Judd. Here comes the 1-0. Missed outside. Jarofsky with a walk. Bad things happen when you walk people. And then Davey lined out to the center field. Center fielder made his usual good play, then almost doubled Judd off at first base. Next pitch, that missed upstairs. So Lebo tonight, Pete, has popped up to the shortstop, and like I said, he started that rally in the 3rd inning with a walk. That culminated with Slifer's 2-run double. 2-1 is count. 3-1 is the score. Missed outside. A leadoff walk to Judd. Line out to the center fielder. Here's Lebo with a 3-1 on him. Judd takes his lead from second. And balk. So, a balk to third. That enhances the RBI opportunities for Pete Lebo. So 1, 2, 3 walks, an error, and now a balk have kind of helped Grundy Center. And swing, and that ball is going to be caught by the right fielder. Jarofsky is going to make the easy tag. He comes home. So again, the balk really hurt. So there's an RBI sac fly for Lebo. Huge run, man. I mean, I know it's just little things, but a walk, then you gave him extra chances. And then the balk hurt, stolen base hurt, so did the balk. The balk really hurt because that sent Jarofsky down to third base. So, here's Ethan Beester with the bases clear. Missed outside. So, a good piece of hitting by Lebo. He went the opposite way, RBI sacrifice fly. So, Jarofsky, being the good table setter, scores for the second time tonight. There's a strike called. It's now 4-1, so they get their 3-run lead back here in the bottom of the fifth inning on KDAO Radio and KDAO.com from Grundy Center. Okay, next pitch to Meester. That missed outside. Jarofsky started this inning with a walk. He swiped second. He was balked to third, and then the RBI sacrifice fly by Lebo. There's a strike called outside corner. For East Marshall in the sixth, it'll be Boswell, Doherty, and Gashler. And we'll see if Jarofsky comes back out to pitch. Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Nasty change. Struck him out. And for Bush, that's strikeout 1, 2, 3. Only the third strikeout, so Grundy Center did a nice job putting the ball in play. We go to the sixth. So Grundy Center picked up a huge run. The balk hurt. The walk hurt. Lebo with an RBI sacrifice fly. And Grundy Center has their lead of 4-1. I'll be back after this.
Are you ready to make the most of your college experience? Look no further than Ellsworth Community College in Iowa Falls, Iowa. At Ellsworth, we offer a world of possibilities with 55 different academic programs to choose from. We also offer 8 NJCAA athletic programs and 2 club programs so you can get involved in the sport you love and be part of a winning team. Ellsworth Community College is where you can experience a 4-year education in just 2 years. Ready to take the first step? Visit us online at ellsworthcollege.com for more information or give us a call at 641-648-4611. Experience Ellsworth today.
Welcome back to the sixth inning. Welcome back to high school baseball. I'm Chuck Carpenter. Well, my theory of Jarofsky being on a short leash tonight did not work because he's thrown a lot of pitches and he's out there for the sixth. So if this keeps up, they won't be able to bring him back this week. They're at Gladbrook-Rhinebeck on Wednesday, not that they were ever going to do that anyway. They're going to host Roland Story on Thursday, not that they were going to pitch him anyway. And then they're going to host AGWSR on Friday. So for East Marshall, they're busy as they want to get some good innings here, and they have out of Bush, even though they are down by a score of 4-1. But anyway, they take on PCM Tuesday. They host Hudson Wednesday, at Jessup on Thursday, and make up with Denver at home on Friday. Here we are in the sixth inning. Jarofsky goes back to work. She's thrown a lot of pitches tonight. He's given up 6 hits, and he throws a strike to Jackson Boswell. It's 5, 6, and 7, and there's a swing and a miss. Judd's gotten in trouble. He's also wriggled out of trouble. East Marshall scored their run in the fifth. He's only had 1 1-2-3 inning, and that was in the second inning, okay? Pitching to the all-important leadoff batter. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Judd has struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he has struck out 8. It's so easy to say on the radio, you can't strike out against Judd Jarofsky. It's important not to strike out against him. He just throws so many good pitches. This is Doherty, batting .348. Judd could use a 1-2-3 inning, so could Grundy Center. East Marshall trying to get things rolling again. There's a swing and a miss. Grundy Center has only had 2 base hits, but they have scored 4 runs. Very opportunistic. 0-1 is the count. Swing and a miss. So Judd struggled in inning 3 and in inning 5. He's only had a 1-2-3 inning. That was inning 2. Here comes the 0-2 to Doherty. And it's on the way. And there's a swing and a miss. So 3 big curveballs. So Judd trying to settle down a little bit here.
Now batting for East Marshall, first baseman number 15, Gavin Gashler.
Here's Gavin Gashler batting .217. Gavin has grounded out, and he is struck out. Now that's 9 strikeouts for Judd. There's a ground ball. Foul down the third base line. East Marshall has been very competitive with Grundy Center over the years. They have lost 3 in a row. East Marshall has won their last 2. Grundy Center trying to bounce back from a tough loss to Union. That was on Friday. Here comes the 0-1. Swing and a pop fly foul. We'll do it again. Got a big crowd. The girls' game is over. And we'll talk about that girls' game in just a little bit, but it was won by East Marshall in a big-time game by a score of 4-1. Matty Hendershot went all the way for Grundy Center on the mound. Here comes the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. So Judd strikes out the side. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now he's got 10 strikeouts, man. So we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. This game's just zipping right along. Usually does when Drofsky's on the mound. East Marshall with a great effort here. They're going to have to face 5, 6, 7, Slifer, Geerdes, and Tatey. I'll be back right after this on KDAO.
For your commercial or agricultural projects, trust D&B Agro-Systems of Hubbard. D&B Agro-Systems is a turnkey operation for commercial and on-the-farm solutions. At D&B, they offer grain storage, handling, and dry systems for all sizes of operation. For more than 40 years, D&B has built a name of consistently delivering quality products and prompt, reliable service at competitive prices. For complete details on what D&B Agro-Systems of Hubbard can do for your operation, visit dnbsystems.com.
Welcome back to Central Iowa High School Baseball, as we are already in the bottom of the 6th inning, and the job of East Marshall is to keep the score right where it's at. We may have a new pitcher. Is that Doherty out there? I think Landon Doherty is coming in. He's pitched 18 innings with a 3.44 ERA. So, I don't think that Bush did a bad job at all. He was dang good tonight. He only gave Grundy Center 2 hits, man. So he threw a 2-hitter. It's just that Grundy Center made the most of their opportunities, and then also there was a couple of mistakes. Just little things. But as Coach Thomas at AP told me one time, little things make up the big things. They scored a run in the 1st inning. Then they scored 2. Now Slifer with a 2-run double. But that 5th inning, that was tough because it was a walk, and then a stolen base, and then a balk, and an RBI sacrifice fly. So here's Schleifer. Now, he has home run power, and lately this team has been hitting home runs, man. So 5, 6, 7, Schleifer, Geerdes, and Tatey. And if anybody gets on base, Luderman. So Doherty comes in. His job is to keep the score right where it's at. Doesn't want to give up anything. Pitch upstairs. See, Schleifer tonight has walked, and of course he has that 2-run opposite field double. Here comes the 1-0 on a lovely evening for high school baseball in front of a big crowd. I don't think the East Marshall softball fans went anywhere. They're all here tonight. So good game. 2-0 is the count. Again, Daughtry trying to keep the score right where it's at. And he has a 2-0, and it's going to be headed home to Slifer here. And here it is. And it just missed inside. 3-0 is the count. Nobody on, nobody out. Grundy Center has never went. No, they have. There was a 1-2-3 inning, and that was in the 2nd. Actually, it was in the 4th, too. So they actually had 2 1-2-3 innings. There's a strike call. So 3-1 is the count. Nobody on, nobody out. Slifer, Geerdes, Tatey. If anybody gets on base, Luderman. And again, Daughtry tries to keep the score right where it's at. There's a foul ball. Grundy Center busy. There'll be a Gladbrook-Rhinebeck on Wednesday. East Marshall super busy, as there'll be a PCM on Tuesday. Tomorrow night, I'll be doing a good softball game with PCM and West Marshall. And we're also going to be covering East Marshall and Roland Story softball. So there you go. 3-2 the count. That missed outside. There's a walk. So nothing good happens when you walk people. And the leadoff walk heard in the 5th inning. Now we have a leadoff walk in the 6th inning. So Grundy Center may only have 2 hits, but there was also an error, and they've also been given 1, 2, 3, 4 walks. And here's Geerdes. Runner not going. Strike call. Hayden batting .297. He's popped up to the center fielder, and he grounded to the first baseman. Slifer takes his lead. He was given a pass. Got to work around that leadoff walk. Here comes the 0-1. Swing and a fly ball. Right fielder comes in about 3 steps and makes the play.
Now batting for Grundy Center, right fielder number 10, Mason Tatey.
Here's Mason Tatey. Mason is the right fielder freshman. Luderman, the designated hitter, is in the on-deck circle. And Doherty trying to work around the leadoff walk. Missed outside. Tatey has struck out, and he's grounded to the shortstop. 4-1. Grundy Center leads, even though they've been on hit. 6-2. They've also been given, we're talking Grundy Center, 4 walks, and there was a big error that allowed a run. Runner goes, throw down to second base. He steals it easily. That's 2 stolen bases tonight. Actually, maybe 3. So, Tatey with the 2-1 count, trying to bring home an insurance tally. It's 4-1, Grundy Center here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Doherty came in. The second pitcher tonight for East Marshall, a long look at the runner. There's a pop fly foul backing out of play. In the 7th inning, it'll be the bottom 2, Crandon and Bielen, then to the top of the order. What will the score be? It's 4-1 right now, but Grundy Center has a runner on at second base. And Doherty, who entered the game, gave up the leadoff walk, pops him up, but there's no play for anybody. Doherty gets a new ball, goes back up on top. Landon is a sophomore. 0-2, 18 innings pitched, and a 3.42 ERA. Trying to work around the leadoff walk. He issued to Slifer, and Ryder is out there at second base. Here comes the 2-2, and it's on its way. The curveball stayed upstairs. So a good piece of hitting here by Tatey. And Luderman is in the on-deck circle. Base hit most likely will score Slifer. He has good speed. Here comes the 3-2. Swing and a pop-up. Who wants it? Center fielder, of course, will come in and make the play. He's been good tonight. Good play. And again, Jackson just made it look easy. So a pop-up to the center fielder. So here's Asher Luderman. So the leadoff walk. Slifer's there now at second with 2 out. That missed upstairs. And again tonight, the East Marshall girls lose to Grundy Center 4-1. They left a lot of base runners. And then a credit to the fine pitcher, Maddie Hendershot for Grundy Center. She had like 10 pop-ups in the game tonight. Not a lot of strikeouts, but like 10 pop-ups. And Grundy Center's defense was very, very good. Here comes the 1-0. After a long look back at the runner, Slider doing a lot of dancing back there. And the umpire finally calls time. So, and actually, East Marshall had the bases loaded in the 6th inning. Pop-up and a pop-out and a strikeout. So that was a nice win for Grundy Center, 4-1 over East Marshall. Oh, and now Coach Chubb's going to come out there. So Coach Chubb comes out. So we're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Just had a few words. 1-0 the count. And again, this is Luderman. Now, Lobby is in the on-deck circle. And I reiterate, for probably the 10th time tonight, they do not want to pitch to Judd Jarofsky with people on base. They don't want to see Judd in this inning. And there's the ball down low. Grundy Center with only 2 base hits. The leadoff single by Jarofsky, then the 2-run double by Slifer. But they do lead this thing by a score of 4-1. Coach, what's Grundy Center say? Gritty, not pretty? It's been gritty tonight. There's a foul back to the screen. And Judd has struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But again, his defense has been just very good behind him. East Marshall has been 2, except for the one thing. That was the error that they made that allowed a run to score. Here comes the 2-1 with 2 out. And that hit the inside corner. Good pitch. So Slifer with a walk. Swipe the base. He's there at second right now. And this is the next pitch to Luderman that just missed outside. Lobby is in the on-deck circle. Then you get the top of the order, which they don't want to see Jarofsky here in this 6th inning. In the 7th, East Marshall is down to their last 3 outs. It'll be the bottom 2 then to the top of the order, okay? And we'll see if Jarofsky comes out. I mean, he's went all the way so far, so here comes the 3-2. Swing and a pop-up. No play for anybody. Got a nice crowd again. East Marshall girls lost to Grundy Center. Good effort by Grundy Center, 4-1. And this, a very well-played high school baseball game. And here comes the 3-2. There's a pop-up foul. So a good piece of hitting here by Luderman, the 8th grader. So this has been a quick game. We started at 7. It took like an hour to play like 6 innings. That's just crazy. So the 3-2 is headed home with a runner at second base. Swinging a pop-up. Now the pitcher wants it, comes off the mound, and takes it for the out. So they work around the leadoff walk, and now the stage is set for East Marshall, top of the 7th. They'll send in the bottom 2, then to the top of the order. We'll see who comes out to pitch for Grundy Center, and Grundy Center has the lead of 4-1. Good baseball game. I'll be back after this.
New Roth Trucking in LeGrand is locally owned and operated, and they have been in business for 25 years. If you need a load of rock hauled for your driveway or dirt for your construction project, Brad at New Roth Trucking is the person to call. New Roth Trucking also hauls ag lime for your farm field and handles local and over-the-road van freight. For more information, contact Brad at 641-485-0624. New Roth Trucking proudly supports the East Marshall Mustangs, and they wish them the best this season.
Welcome back to Central Iowa High School Baseball. So, Judd's done for the night. He threw a lot of pitches, so I don't think we're going to see him this week at all. Maybe a little bit against AGWSR. What's the pitch count thing? 110 per game. Don't know if he threw that. He may have a few pitches left in him for later. But in the meantime, though, the order of importance here for Grundy Center is Britt Meyer trying to shut it down. So Britt enters with a 1-1 record, and he has a 6.30 ERA. Now, the first thing I'm sure that Coach Brown told him is don't be walking anybody. You got a 4-1 lead, so don't be walking the leadoff batter. And you got the bottom 2, so you are going to have to face a tough top of the order here, man, in order to get this win. And, I mean, it's definitely been gritty and not pretty for Grundy Center, as they scored 1 in the first and they scored 2 in the third. Had that big insurance tally in the 5th. East Marshall picked up their run in the 5th inning. They've actually out-hit Grundy Center 6-2. Got a big crowd on hand. It's been a good high school baseball game. Good, quick game. Well played by both teams. And now, here is Austin Crandon, Tate Bielen, Eli Burns. If anybody gets on Blake Newroth. So let's see what Meyer has. And again, if you're Grundy Center, you don't want to be walking people. You don't want to walk the leadoff batter. East Marshall's had the leadoff batter on 2 times tonight. First pitch is in the dirt. So Austin Crandon, the junior catcher. Let's see here, Austin is struck out, and he has a little bloop single. That 5th inning, they put 2 bloop singles together with 2 wild pitches and scored. Now there's 2-0. And again, when you have a 3-run lead, you don't want to be walking the leadoff batter. Tomorrow night, I'll be doing West Marshall softball with PCM. And then on Thursday night, I'll be doing 7 p.m. ball game when Fort Dodge comes to town and plays Marshalltown in softball. Okay, here comes the 2-0. Missed upstairs. Next time I'll be in Grundy Center will be next Thursday. Good girls softball game with West Marshall and Grundy Center. That'll be a good one. Now, in the meantime, Meyer is headed for trouble here. 3-0 is the count. And there's a 3-1. There's a 3-0 pitch. It's a strike called outside corner on Crandon, as the bottom of the order tries to get something going on here against Meyer. Here comes the 3-1. There's a strike call. Now, when he was in there, Jarofsky struck out 10. And Grundy Center's defense has been good. Here comes the 3-2 from Meyer. There's a swing and a miss, struck him out. So you get the leadoff batter off. So that's 11 strikeouts East Marshall has had. It's so easy to say you can't strike out against Judd, but they did 10 times, and then Meyer gets a strikeout. And here's Tate Bielen. And it would be nice if you're Grundy Center to pitch to Burns with nobody on base, okay? And, of course, if you're East Marshall, as he leans back from one. And, of course, if you're East Marshall, you want to get some people on base for people like Burns and Newroth, you know. So, the 1-0 count is headed home. 4-1 lead for Grundy Center. Here it is, missed outside. Next up, Grundy Center has got a little break tomorrow. Then they take on Gladbrook-Rhinebeck Wednesday. Next up for East Marshall, there's no rest for those guys at PCM on Tuesday, man. Here comes the 2-0. And it hits the outside corner. Good game. Grundy Center has only 2 base hits. They've also been helped a little bit by that error. And then there was a balk that hurt. And then 3 walks. Just little things, but they mean a lot. Strike call. Meyer trying to close it down. It's been a good high school baseball game. Very quick, man, on a perfect night for high school baseball. So 2-2 is the count. 1 out. Nobody on. Grundy Center has a 4-1 lead. And next pitch, it's a 2-2, and it's headed on the way to Bielen as Lebo sets up. Missed outside. Burns, the dangerous leadoff batter, would bat next. If you're Grundy Center, it would behoove you to throw to Burns with nobody on base, you know. Here comes the 3-2. There's a strike 3 called. I think just too many strikeouts for East Marshall tonight. And it's smack up to Eli Burns. Well, they got the right guy up there. Eli is a good table setter. Batting .283. Eli tonight has he has a bunt single, and he has a walk, and he struck out. So Meyer trying to close it down and get the 4-1 victory. The Grundy Center girls won 4-1, and the Grundy Center boys lead 4-1. That's interesting. Strike called outside corner. Eli steps out. Eli steps in. Meyer will bring an 0-1, and here it is. Missed outside. Can't believe how quick this game has been, but it shouldn't surprise me when you have a good high school baseball game like this. And every time I do a Grundy Center game and Jarofsky pitches, it usually goes by pretty fast. But an hour and 20 minutes, that's crazy. But this game is not over yet. Here comes the 1-1. And missed outside. So, you know, Eli trying to get on base any old way with his speed. And Neuroth is in the on-deck circle. I mean, these are the heavy hitters for East Marshall, you know. Here comes the 2-1 count. And it's headed home to Eli. That hit the outside corner. 2-2 the count. What a great crowd on a beautiful night for high school baseball. 2-2 the count. Spartans are 1 strike away from a conference win. And here comes the 2-2. It's on the way. Swing and a line drive foul. We'll do it again. Grundy Center scored their run in the first. When East Marshall dropped a little pop-up, that was a very difficult play. Then they scored 2 in the third. Slifer with a 2-run double. And then in the fifth, Lebo with an RBI sacrifice fly. And there's a swing and a miss. And that's it. So he strikes out the side, and actually, the last 6 outs by East Marshall were all strikeouts. And they struck out 13 times, so Meyer does a good job. He comes in and strikes out the side and preserves the win. A quick moving baseball game, well played by both teams. I don't think East Marshall should be upset. They're playing good baseball. They just ran into Jarofsky, and Grundy Center just did a good job taking advantage of their opportunities. East Marshall had some opportunities, but man, Jarofsky was tough, and then Meyer struck out the side. And overall, they struck out 13, which is just kind of tough. They out-hit Grundy Center, but they still struck out 13 times. So Grundy Center now goes to 12-2, 10-2 in the conference. East Marshall is 5-14, 2-8 in the conference, but I think they're playing good baseball here. And we all know Grundy Center, anytime they put Jarofsky on the mound, they have a chance to beat anybody. So a good high school baseball game. Congratulations to the Grundy Center girls. They win 4-1. Congratulations to the Grundy Center boys. They win tonight by a score of 4-1 as well. What a great crowd, great night for high school baseball, and a really short game and a well-played game too. So Grundy Center gets the lead of 4-1, and this has been a sports presentation of KDAO.
Tonight's game was made possible by
CropRite,
Creekside Grundy Center,
GNB Bank,
Ellsworth Community College,
D&B Agro Systems, New Roth Trucking, Partner Communications, Marshalltown Community College. This has been a special sports presentation of KDAO.